Hey y'all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I'm Darren, and today I'm going to do a comparison between the AvidArmor A100 commercial vacuum sealer versus the FoodSaver stainless steel FM2435. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back, and hey, I've had this FoodSaver FM2435 for a little over a year now, and it's worked okay. I can't really complain. I haven't had any major issues with it at all. It's pretty much about the same size as far as taking up kind of space as the AvidArmor. So I'm really not having to give up any kind of space savings or anything going to the AvidArmor. And there's some things that this FoodSaver has and doesn't have. It's kind of the reason why I'm moving over to the AvidArmor. One of the things with the FoodSaver, it is a lot lighter, so it's made mostly of plastic. It has this stainless steel plate here, but that's the only piece that's really stainless steel. The rest of it's plastic. It does have bag storage here for storage for a roll for bags and a built-in cutter, which is kind of convenient. The AvidArmor does not have that. One of the reasons is due to the AvidArmor's vacuum pump is a lot stronger. It's a dual pump, so the pump takes up a lot more room than the one on the FoodSaver. So that's one of the things the FoodSaver has over it, is it does have the bag storage, which to me really is not that big of a deal. The other thing that the AvidArmor doesn't have is that the this section here locks on the FoodSaver. It's a plastic little knob here that will open it, and this will kind of lock it down real tight. With the AvidArmor, you do got to kind of push this handle down. It doesn't really lock into place. You just kind of push it down until the vacuum starts going, then you can let go of it. It does suck it down though. They both have a couple different options as far as what you can do as far as sealing goes. The FoodSaver has two selections, dry or moist. And with the moist setting, all you're doing on the FoodSaver is it gives a little bit more time to the seal. So when you pick the moist setting, it's not letting you do anything more with moisture as far as using a liquid in the bag or anything like that. It's just giving it a little bit of a longer time to seal the bag due to having some moisture in between the two pieces of plastic. So that's pretty much your only option here. You got just your seal button and your vac seal button. So you really, when you're trying to do anything like a custom seal where you're trying to vacuum just a little bit out, you really got to be careful and try to punch this a couple times to try to get it to stop, and then hit the seal button real quick. So it's kind of tough to kind of get that to do that, to monkey with these buttons, because there's really no adjustability as far as that goes. It's either vac and seal or seal. So and that's about it. It does have the accessory port and the little accessory attachment here that will do your canisters and your other type of plastic containers that FoodSaver has. I do have the canisters for the AvidArmor. They sent me for those, and these actually look a little bit different, where it actually sucks everything out and it locks it down, and then to undo it, you push this button down and it lets the vacuum out. So it's a totally separate process here. And we're going to test those out to see which one's better or different. But as far as size goes, this is just a little bit bigger. It's a lot heavier, because this is 100% complete steel, stainless steel. This thing's probably about 10 pounds. Compared to this is about 4 or 5 pounds, because it's mostly plastic. The pump on this is a lot stronger. You have the ability to set your seal times. Now I've adjusted the seal time on this a couple different times. I've used the highest seal time, and it actually burnt through the bag. One of the things I want to kind of go a little bit closer and show you some of the differences here. If you look at the seal bar itself right here on the AvidArmor. It's a lot wider, it's a lot wider, gives you a little bit more space there, a little bit more of a seal. You got your moisture tray you can remove here on the AvidArmor. And on your, you can see this is a lot smaller seal bar, and it's not as well made. You can see this is already peeling. You do have your moisture catcher here as well, and like I said, you do have your ability to do your bags, but it's a lot more plastic. The pump is a lot smaller. You have to actually wait a lot longer for your pump to get all the air out, but it works if you don't use your vacuum sealer very often. As long as you keep it clean, keep it maintained real well, it's going to be okay for a couple, if you only use it every couple days. Now this one, this is a lot more heavy duty. This is if you're going to do a lot of vacuum sealing, this is kind of the one you want to look at. And I will show you exactly, running them side by side, what the difference is going to be. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little closer up view here. I'm going to let the FoodSaver go first, and I've got this all ready to go. And I'm just doing some crackers as an example, nothing that I really want to seal for real, but it's going to show you what I'm talking about as far as I'm going to let the vacuum or the FoodSaver Fm2435 go first, and I'm just going to let it do the dry, and I'm just going to do regular vac and seal, and then I'll let it run. Well, that was kind of dramatic with the crackers, so. All right, and then when it's done, the lights will go off. It doesn't make any kind of beep or anything. And then you just unlock it. And there you go. I mean, it works decent. Nothing wrong with that. Now we're going to go ahead and let the AvidArmor, turn that on. I'm actually going to turn the seal down to 4. I had it set up to 5 because last time I used it, I had a pleated thick bag in there. So you can hear that when I've turned it on. It's got a big fan in here because the pistons in this motor are a lot bigger than that one there. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the start. And there you go. And it beeps when it's done. And one of the things I kind of want to show you the difference. This is the FoodSaver. Check out the seal. Okay, it's decent. It's sealed all the way through. But if you compare it to this seal's a lot wider. And since I had it set to 4 seconds, it actually went all the way through this pretty substantially. That's a heck of a seal on here. It's actually probably a little bit too long. I probably could have backed it off to 3 seconds, but it's a lot wider seal and a lot stronger seal than this one here. And this one actually took longer to seal. So this seal's a lot quicker. Since we did do, these are crackers, it did, pull most of the air out of this one, the FoodSaver, and this one too, it did pulled a lot of the air out. But as far as the time, this took it was a lot quicker to vacuum it and seal it than the FoodSaver. They both did a decent job, but as far as if you're doing something where you're cooking sous vide, where this is going underwater, and you want to make sure you get a really tight seal, I think the AvidArmor does a lot better job at sealing. So, and we're going to show you in a minute how we can do some liquids with it. I'm going to let the FoodSaver go first. so I can kind of show you what I need to do in order to use liquid with it. Normally what I do is I will let the bag kind of hang. I'll pull this back just a little so you can see what I'm doing. I'll let it kind of hang over the edge of the counter so that I can get gravity to kind of help me keep the liquid back. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and you can lock it down, so that's a good thing. So I kind of got it locked down, got it hanging over the edge of the counter a little bit to let the gravity hold it back just a little bit. And what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to put it on the moist setting. I'm going to run the vac and seal, and I'm going to see if I can get this to stop before a lot of the sauce goes up into it. So here we go. Alright, that's it. It won't let me do it anymore. So now I have to hit the seal. So I can only do it like a once, where I can stop it once. So then you have to go ahead and seal it. The only problem with that way, where I can only do it once or twice with that FoodSaver, is it really doesn't give me the ability to get all the air out. So I got a good amount of it out, but still not all of it. So, and you can tell that it's an okay, but it's just still, there's still some air in there. There's still some big air bubbles and stuff. So that sealed it. Well, let's do it with the AvidArmor. And I'm going to kind of do a similar thing with this one, just because I want it to kind of be even. So I'm going to go ahead, get that in there, just kind of hold it into place. But what this has is I can actually do a pulse vac. So what I can do is start, power on, and pulse vac. You see that? I can just do this as many times as I want and just kind of look and see to where I can get as much of that air out as possible. And once you get enough of the air out, you don't have to worry about the liquid going back up there anymore, because it's pretty much got a nice tight vacuum right here. And then you just go ahead and hit your seal. And then it's done. And then again, you got that really deep, thick seal. Wide on here, it's a lot wider. Just kind of show you the difference in the seal. It's a lot wider on the commercial one. There's still some air bubbles in there, and this one is pretty much tight. So there you go. Check them both out, whichever fits your needs. My recommendation, if you're going to do a lot of sous vide cooking and a lot of food prep using a vacuum, go ahead and spring for the extra $100 or so for the AvidArmor, because it's going to be well worth it. Thanks for watching.